Alright, just testing real quick. Hopefully, there's some audio here. Yes, hooray, there's audio. And this is Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger, here for Video Hardcore Wrestling Association Pela Asquerosa. Episode 5, live from the Tito Puente Ballroom. And we have a great show for you today, folks. Thank you so much for coming back in. It's been an interesting week in wrestling. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. New champions. This is going to be pretty much the focus of this episode, but first, a brief explanation of why there was no live stream last Friday. As most of you know by now, there was an earthquake in New Jersey, 5 point something, like 5.3 magnitude, something like that. And it was felt throughout all of New York. And it happened just as I was getting ready to live stream. So, of course, it was pandemonium over here. My neighbor got out of her apartment and she locked herself out. And the super had to come in and help her get back into an apartment. The whole building was shaking. The cats didn't get like scared like they already know when I'm about to live stream. So I was just on the sofa. I was about to live stream. Cats on either side of me, and then the ground starts shaking. At first, I'm like thinking, well, the cats can't be clawing the sofa, and they're not that strong that they can shake the whole sofa. And I look at my cats, and the cats are already staring at me like, dude, what the fuck? And then I look at the floor like, yep, that is definitely the floor that's shaking. A whole lot of things went through my mind. It lasted like about 15, 20 seconds. But believe me, you can think a lot of things in 15 seconds, especially if you're a New Yorker. I was like, okay, a building may have collapsed somewhere close. Or maybe a gas leak, there was an explosion. Maybe there was a terrorist attack. And then, like, the very last thing that went through my mind was maybe it was an earthquake, even though I haven't felt an earthquake since I was a little kid here in New York. I know that a few years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, there was one in Maryland or something like that. I don't remember. It was in the neighboring area. It happened while I was still living in Puerto Rico. So yeah, that must have been like over 10 years ago. That was like the last time an earthquake like that was felt in New York. So it was interesting to say the least. I was watching a YouTube video from my friend Crazy Night while I was preparing to do the live stream. And I was like, well, if I'm going to go, at least I'm going to go watching a friend's YouTube video. What a crazy day Friday. And of course, it just threw all my schedule out of whack. Like everything got pretty much set back. So yeah. I haven't been able to recover my schedule since then. Wow. But here we are, episode 5, finally. Maybe next week I'll do an extra episode to compensate for last week. Kind of like when baseball games get rescheduled because of rain and inclement weather and whatnot. Also, it was Wrestlemania weekend, which was actually a lot of fun. But let me start putting the card together here so we can all watch some wrestling as I give my thoughts as I was mentioning, there are new champions on the horizon because a couple of weeks, not this past weekend, but the weekend before this weekend was my own anniversary show for my Federation, the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association. And it's called Apocalypse 2K14. And there were some title exchanges, which I will get to in a little bit. Let me just bring up the current tag team champions. We have actually a unified tag team champion, Hierarquía. This is non-title. Let's go ahead, change this entrance. Go to Pela Asquerosa. Let me select the Tito Puente Ballroom. So, in Apocalypse 2K24, Hierarquía faced off against the Kingsmen, which you guys have already seen in action before as well. Since Hierarquía was the Contusión Semanal Tag Team Champion, the Kingsmen, the Encendia Salvaje Tag Team Champions. They had a little confrontation, so to speak, backstage. A lot of backstage stuff happened. And that led to a title versus title match at Apocalypse, which Hierarquía was able to pull off. Now they are double champions. Now they can be on Contusión Semanal and on Encendia Salvaje, since they are the unified tag team champions right now. And we're going to have them face off against the team you guys have not seen yet, Carnívoro and Eli Wolf, part of the three-man group called Progression. You're going to see the third member later on, and I'll give more backstory of that. But yes, Carnívoro, one of the OGs of the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association. After over 10 years of not being on the roster, he came back and he joined Eli Wolf, a young up-and-coming superstar. And he also joined Daniel Lugo, another of the OG wrestlers, and the three of them formed Progression. Yes, three superstars out to get together and win some titles and earn respect that they believe that they deserve. So here is Carnívoro and Eli Wolf in a non-title match against Hierarquía, the actual tag team monarchs of the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association. Let's get this party started. So yeah, WrestleMania weekend. Well, it was a lot of fun. I actually pretty much had a watch party with the aforementioned Crazy Knight, which you should visit his channel. YouTube channel is Crazy Knight. I'll share links in the description or in the chat later on. And I was also watching it along with Chago Rodriguez of Chago the Approved Comics. Also check out his YouTube channel, Chago the Approved Comics. And the three of us watched the entire night one of WrestleMania 40. We all tapped out so badly after it. It was like 4 hours of wrestling, like 4 hours and a half almost. We actually did a live stream reaction to that. So we were actually live streaming, reacting to night one of WrestleMania as it was happening. And it was a lot of fun, actually. It was more fun than I expected. I didn't like this year's WrestleMania card as much as I liked last year's, but it was actually surprisingly good. I think the fact of watching it with my friends, the way that we did it, actually added to the experience as well. Here is Progression, Carnívoro and Eli Wolf. live from the Tito Puente Ballroom.
And here they come.
And here comes the champs, Jerarquía.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 430 pounds, the Raw Tag.
So yeah, night one was very enjoyable. Although I was extremely disappointed in the Usos match, actually, Jay versus Jimmy. It felt very underwhelming, and it was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most on the card, actually. The six-pack ladder match for the tag team titles was actually very cool. It was pretty solid. Of course, the opening was a banger with Rhea Ripley retaining against Becky Lynch. That was just a great match. It was the perfect match to start off. LWO, that tag match was alright, I guess. It was kind of disappointing too. But that main event tag team match was epic, I can't lie. And I really thought there was going to be a swerve where The Rock was going to betray Roman Reigns, help Cody Rhodes win. Well, not necessarily help him win in night one, but I was assuming that a miscommunication was going to happen. Bloodline would lose, and The Rock would just attack Roman Reigns afterwards. And then Roman would win to retain the title in night two. I did not see coming that not only was Bloodline going to win, I would have assumed that maybe Seth Rollins would have taken the pin if Cody and Seth were going to lose. But The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes, which you could hear my shock on the live stream. Yeah, and we went off like on conspiracy theories afterwards, the three of us.
This crowd is truly unworthy of his incredible.
And then, of course, night two came, and we were all so tired. Crazy Night and Chago joined me briefly for some of the matches. I really fought my way through to watch the entire thing. It ended up being another 3-hour plus stream for night two. Again, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed night two a lot more than I enjoyed night one. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was a solid match. Like, hats off to Seth Rollins, man. He really is an Iron Man, you know, to wrestle injured and to be such a huge part of both shows back to back. That's insane. That takes a lot of intestinal fortitude, so to speak, to be able to do what Seth Rollins did that weekend for WrestleMania weekend. There's a little back and forth going on here in this match, by the way. Don't think I'm not looking just because I'm going off on the tangent of WrestleMania 40. I am actually absorbing the match as well as I speak to you. But yeah, Seth Rollins, I would say he was the MVP of WrestleMania 40. There's just no other way to put it. Like from the tag team match on night one, the championship match that opened night two with Drew McIntyre, helping put over Drew McIntyre in that first match, and then his involvement in the main event as well, which, like, that main event was amazing, but I'll get to that in a sec. That was a solid match, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. It was hilarious, the beatdown CM Punk gave him afterwards. And finally, Damian Priest cashed in. And man, was I excited. I was like, holy shit, he's cashing in. And Damian Priest is the WWE Heavyweight Champion, which was so cool. That was such a cool moment, especially the whole Drew McIntyre tweeting during the match, and then after the match when Damian Priest cashed in successfully. CM Punk's reactions, his facial reactions are always gold, in my opinion. Oh, nice counter there. Off the top with the clothesline. That's the in-your-face action of the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association. Pela, Asquerosa, live from the Tito Puente Ballroom. I have way too much fun with these streams, man. Anyway, that was a fun WrestleMania night too. I'm just like also trying to remember what went on in night 2. Of course, the triple threat match for the United States title. That was way better than it had any right to be. Logan Paul earned my respect big time in that match. Like he went in there toe-to-toe and kept up with both Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. You know, that is amazing that someone who didn't grow up training to be a wrestler or a fighter or anything, and to be able to go toe-to-toe with pretty much already a legend in Randy Orton and a solid performer like Kevin Owens. You have to give him his props, despite what you may think of Logan Paul. And there goes Hierarchia winning the non-title match. That was a nice little tag match. Not anything mind-blowing, but it was good for what it was. How many stars was it given? I actually didn't notice. Hopefully it was 3 stars at least. I personally would give it 3 stars. Two and a half stars. Good. I probably would have given it the whole 3 stars, to be honest, but 2.5 is fair, I guess. Some highlights. It's always impressive to see people get kicked in the face like that, even if they're fake people. Okay. But is this really a highlight? All right. Nice. He could have tried to go for the cover after that, really. I guess he wanted Carnivero to try to have the pinfall win or something. I don't know. This was a cool little spot here. Boom. And that could have been it right there, too. Right. Let's exit and immediately go to match number 2. We have a new Intercontinental Champion. Let's have a look at this new champion in a non-title match, of course. I'm just gonna look for... I believe he hasn't had a one-on-one match here yet. He is Braun Bradley, formerly of the tag team B&B with Brandon Rowe. And he is going to be facing Kendo Kobayashi, the new Intercontinental Champion, representing the Vertigo Gold Club. as I was explaining about the Vertigo Gold Club, Vertigo was the Intercontinental Champion. The Vertigo Gold Club, of course, comprised of Vertigo, Terminal, and Kendo Kobayashi. Vertigo had promised his fellow teammates that if he made it to Apocalypse as Intercontinental Champion, as a reward for being loyal to him, he would put his Intercontinental title up for grabs in a triple threat match. And he stayed true to his word, and there was an epic triple threat match between all three members of the Vertigo Gold Club. And Kendo Kobayashi, for the first time ever, ended up winning the Intercontinental title. Title match off. Let's select the Tito Puente Ballroom, of course. Start match. But as I was saying, huge amount of respect for Logan Paul for that match. And the main event, like, that was mind-blowing. It was like, it was a little overbooked for my taste, but seeing how it pretty much encapsulated, like, the past 15 years worth of storylines and somehow wrapped them up to an extent was actually pretty amazing in terms of long-term storytelling and callbacks to the past. And I know a lot of people were disappointed that Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't appear and wasn't the one that confronted The Rock, but I'll get to that. Of course, Cody Rhodes comes out with Brandy Rhodes. Always great to see Brandy as well. I kind of wanted to see her in WWE as well after they left AEW. So seeing her walking Cody Rhodes to the ring was a very nice surprise. It was kind of like when a few WrestleManias back, gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking out on her name. Matt Hardy's wife, Rebby Sky, when Rebby played the piano to introduce broken Matt Hardy. That was fucking amazing in WWE to see that back then. So to see Brandy Rhodes coming out with Cody, that was awesome, in my opinion. Of course, Roman Reigns coming out. It was just, first of all, it was a pretty solid match. Pretty much on par with the match they had last year. Here comes the newly minted Intercontinental Champion, Kendo Kobayashi. This is actually my first time seeing him walk out with the title like that. That's pretty cool.
The WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Asian Nightmare.
Guys, this match has the potential to completely change the WWE landscape, and it's because of this level of talent.
But yeah, like, they were having a solid match to begin with. And then Jimmy and Jay Uso come out because Jimmy came out, of course, to interfere. Jay comes out, they had a little scuffle on the ramp and go through tables, and automatically that brawl on the ramp was better than the entire match they had in night one, which was so funny to me. Then, of course, Solo Sikoa comes out afterwards when Cody was about to win in the same fashion that happened last year. I thought it was probably over, actually, at that moment. But Cody kept kicking out, which was pretty cool. He turned into Super Cody. And then freaking John Cena comes out of nowhere. Because I was like thinking to myself, if Cody kicked out, somebody's going to come out and interfere because it's not going to end like that. I was trying to remember who was currently in a rivalry with Solo Sikoa, and that's when John Cena's music hit, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. At one point, John Cena had put him over.
My goodness, did you hear that chop?
So that was pretty cool to see John Cena taking out Roman, taking out Solo. And of course, The Rock comes out, which was kind of fun, knowing the history of John Cena and The Rock with the once in a lifetime that happened twice in 2 WrestleManias in a row. So to see them face off like that was pretty cool. Of course, The Rock taking out John Cena just when he was about to take out Cody. Out of nowhere, the gong hits and fucking Undertaker is there, and people lost their minds. Ooh. Falcon Arrow from the top of the rope, and oh! Braun Bradley winning the non-title match.
Here is your winner, the Brawler, Bradley.
What an emphatic victory, guys. No contest. That's why they call it light work, Cole. Barely even broke a sweat.
Wow, I didn't expect it to be this short. I didn't expect Braun to win. Yeah, I guess average is fine. Are there even highlights? It's from the beginning of the match. You know it's a short match when that's a highlight. Of course, the finisher. Nice finisher there. That's probably what saved the match from being a bad match or a mediocre match. Let me go ahead and select the other match in the meantime so I can get to finish my thoughts on The Undertaker popping up in the main event of WrestleMania. Right? Next to last match on the card, there are new women's champions coming out of Apocalypse. Right, let's look for Dia Salvaje Women's Champion Kaoru. And let's have her face off against the Contusión Semanal Women's Champion Tasha. Let's go ahead and select the Tito Puente Ballroom. Non-title match, let's get this going. I know a lot of people were complaining that it was Undertaker that appeared and interfered in the match and took out The Rock. And listen to my theory as well, because it's important and this is my live stream and I'm the only one here. So it's my voice, the most important one right now. Remember that even though it would have been cool to see Stone Cold Steve Austin give The Rock like the billionth stunner on a WrestleMania, let's be honest, it wouldn't have made sense story-wise. The Undertaker actually makes a lot more sense because he has had history with The Rock and he has had history with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns being one of the only 2 people defeating The Undertaker in WrestleMania. So it would actually make sense that at a WrestleMania, The Undertaker would kind of try to screw over Roman Reigns and to do it to spite The Rock also with their storied rivalries in the past. It makes a whole lot of sense. You know, at least to me, it makes a whole lot of sense that it was Undertaker that popped in and gave The Rock the choke slam and then disappeared along with him. To me, it made perfect sense. And then, of course, Seth Rollins, again, in my opinion, the MVP of WrestleMania's Night 1 and 2. I don't know how bad he had re-aggravated his injury by that point, because he was taken out pretty much as soon as he came in. Like, when the Shield music hit, I can't lie, like many people, for a split second, my mind said Dean Ambrose. Jon Moxley jumped finally from AEW, but he's too content with AEW and not being as in good a shape as he was in WWE, and having all these blood matches. You know, so I don't see him leaving AEW anytime soon. Even though I would have loved to have seen a WrestleMania main event with a Shield reunion. Well, not necessarily reunion, but a triple threat Shield match would have been fantastic. Anyway, Seth Rollins comes out, Shield gear and all, and Roman takes Seth out. Of course, that was before Undertaker popped up and took out The Rock. And then again, like, as people say, and it's true, it's just a master class of storytelling. Oh, that was a nice move there. Master class of long-term storytelling. The chair Seth Rollins right into the ring. He's laying down there on the mat. Seth Rollins is getting up. Cody Rhodes is coming up, standing up. And Roman had a choice. He could have just taken out Cody Rhodes, retained the title. The story continues for Roman. And Cody Rhodes doesn't finish the story. But he chose to hit Seth Rollins in the back instead with the chair. It's funny because as soon as Seth fell down, it like throws so many callbacks, because the way that he fell down was actually the same way Roman Reigns sold that chair shot when Seth Rollins, during that famous Plan B segment, had blasted Roman Reigns in the back with the chair. So it was a great callback to that segment and the breakup of the Shield. Is it over? Oh, wow! I thought it was over. That was actually pretty cool. Brief backstory in this match. Kaoru had the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. She held it for an entire year because she decided to cash it in to be in the women's Apocalypse Championship match, which actually main evented night 1 of Apocalypse 2K24. So it was a triple threat match, and Kaoru actually ended up winning it. Oh, here we go. Oh, Spanish Fly, top rope. The crowd chanting, "This is awesome." Yes, this is. So Kaoru ended up winning the match to become champion for the first time. Tasha the next night on, 2 nights later on the Contusión Semanal after Apocalypse, she took on Muerte Oxigenada, who was the Contusión Semanal women's champion, and she retained her title during Apocalypse. But of course, during with intervention from her Jerarquía sisters, Tasha was able to win the title that Monday, past Mondays, Monday of last week, so to speak. Which is why we have 2 new women's champions that we just witnessed in a very, very good match. Just a pin attempt. Nice little kick there. I thought the match was over with that super splash. Oh, I guess they're gonna show the 2 count. 1, 2. No! Like right in the last split second, she kicked out. That was pretty cool. The effects of the Spanish fly off the top rope, which led to the victory. Very cool match. Now let me set up the main event. To show off the new Incendia Salvaje champion. Of course, you've seen him a couple of times before. Malaquia Santos. He's the Contusión Semanal champion, and he retained his title. So, again, I want to show you. I want to show you all the wrestlers that you haven't seen, or at the very least, have wrestlers that you have seen wrestle with others that you haven't seen yet, so that you guys can be able to have some variety. Here is the aforementioned Brandon Rowe, who was a former tag team of Braun Bradley. Let's have him have a non-title match against the new Incendia Salvaje champion, Daniel Lugo, one of the OGs of the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association. This is only his 2nd ever championship. How did he win the title? During night 2, the opening match was the Money in the Bank ladder match, where Daniel Lugo actually won the briefcase. The very next match was actually Santiago Candelario versus PM Fiend. No, versus Jason for the championship. And after a hard-fought match, Santiago Candelario was able to reclaim his title back finally, only for Daniel Lugo to immediately cash in his briefcase and win the title from him. That was pretty funny, not gonna lie. Alright, let's select the Tito Puente Ballroom for Pela Asquerosa episode 5. This is the main event, a non-title match. Brandon Rowe, I believe you've seen him before. I just put him again because he's just such fun. And of course, Seth Rollins was one of the inspirations behind Brandon Rowe. So it's nice to just have a nice match between these two. They met before. They've had great matches before. Hopefully they'll have a great match for you guys here too. Once again, this is a non-title match. This is your main event for today. Anyway, back to WrestleMania with the final thoughts. That's what I think. Undertaker made a lot of sense to be the one that interfered in the end, to be honest, at least to me. It was amazing to see how things that happened 10, 15 years ago came into play into this match as well. Very emotional finale. Samantha Irwin, her voice cracking up while presenting Cody Rhodes as a new champion kind of added a little extra to that. I know some people complained about it. I think people complain just to complain, to be honest, nowadays, especially in this era of social media. And I have thoughts about social media. Watch my video that I posted last night about that in my Vita series of Video Everyday April.
Making his way to the ring from
all in all, it was just an outstanding WrestleMania. I really had a lot of fun. I still kind of liked last year's better overall because I felt the card was stronger overall. But this was incredibly entertaining, one of the best WrestleManias. I still give the edge to The Rock versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania 17 as the best main event, and probably WrestleMania 17 overall just the best WrestleMania still, but 39 and 40 have been very close, not gonna lie. And again, seeing Brandy Rhodes come out to celebrate with Cody thanking Triple H, and it was funny when he mentioned Bruce Pritchard, because as soon as he mentioned Bruce Pritchard, I cringed and I was like, yeah, there's gonna be some boos, and there were it wasn't like overwhelmingly, but there were some boos. If you know, you know. If you've been following what's been happening behind the scenes with WWE. But it was a nice touch seeing Cody's family there, him finally finishing his story. It was just a great WrestleMania moment. Excuse me while I have a small drink to soothe my throat. Speaking of behind the scenes, how about AEW? Oh man, if ever a segment backfired on any company, that was crazy. Of course, AEW, for those that don't know, showing the footage of what happened in All In London last year, which was the incident that led to CM Punk being fired from AEW and Jack Jungle Boy Perry to be suspended still to this day from AEW. Just because Tony Khan got pissy because CM Punk went on a podcast the week before WrestleMania and was actually asked about the incident at All Out. He spoke about it candidly. He described what happened and his feelings towards Tony Khan. Tony got his britches in a bunch and decided that, hey, I'm going to show the footage of what happened at AEW. And I'm going to show it without altering it. It's going to be the actual footage. And somehow they tried to tie that into the whole rivalry going on with the Young Bucks and FTR. Of course, if you know, and if you don't, FTR, close friends in real life with CM Punk. And they show the footage, and it's essentially beat for beat what CM Punk had actually described what happened. It really didn't help advance anything. If anything, it just made AEW look like clowns. And then even more bizarre, they had Will Ospreay take a big shot at Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Or Stephanie McMahon Lebesque. And it just made AEW look so petty. Oh, that was a nice counter. That's why I put these two to go against each other. They have great chemistry against one another. You know, it was just a bad vibe all around for AEW, like those two instances. And allegedly there was another segment that they were going to take another shot at CM Punk, but thankfully they scrapped it, because if they would have taken even more shots at Punk and WWE, it would have been even worse. And the ratings came out, and it actually didn't help them that much. Like, the ratings have been kind of floundering. It hasn't been the same actually since CM Punk was fired from AEW. Oh, wow. That was a great kick out. I thought that was it. Wow. That was a great kick out. I did not expect that. But yeah, like AEW is like in a free fall. Like, sure, they can make solid and even great pay-per-views and special events, but their weekly shows, it's just bizarre. And another. Okay, this is a pay-per-view level match right here, folks, between Daniel Lugo and Brandon Rowe. Both of them kicking out of each other's finishers. This has been a fantastic match so far. That could be it right there. Nice. Bear in mind, this is a non-title match. Again, the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association athletes go all out for every one of you. I hope you all appreciate the effort they all do to give you an entertaining show. But yeah, I wish AEW wouldn't take the shots that they do against WWE. Like, it gets to a point where, like, move on. You know, 1, 2, 3, finally, as another non-champion wins a non-title match. That was a freaking fun match. Wow, that was a lot of fun.
And the celebration's underway. That's what happens when you put in the preparation and the
Whoa. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm humming Seth Rollins' theme song, is because that's the theme song I put for Brandon Rowe. It was indeed a great match. I probably would have given it the whole 4 stars as well, but great is fair enough, especially for a show like this. Let's see some highlights. Stinger splash, very nice. Some good kicking action there. The pedigree, of course. Curb stomp, flatliner, or Gold Rush? Was it? What was it called? I don't remember anymore. That move. That was a lot of fun. As I said, this was going to be a great show today, and I humbly believe it was. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on WrestleMania 40. My thoughts on the AEW and the backstage incident. It's just crazy that now, after that whole incident, not only do you have CM Punk, of course, super over in WWE, you have people chanting CM Punk in AEW again. That's just bananas. I don't know what they were thinking doing that, quite honestly. Well, yeah, that would drive up the ratings, but you're going to depend on an employee that you fired from your company to raise ratings. That is insane. That just shows weakness, in my opinion. And I like AEW. I used to love AEW, but now it's gone down to now it's gone down to like that awkward TNA phase when it was on the verge of collapsing, and when WCW was imploding. That's what it feels like in AEW right now. It really does. It's a shame. It's a real shame, because if there was one promotion that could have given some good competition to WWE, it would have been AEW. But Tony Khan has lost the plot, I think, in my opinion. Oh my goodness, what a week it's been. What a great week of wrestling. Even this episode of Pela Asquerosa was great as well. And I thank you all for accompanying me for these little moments. So that's going to be it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Later on, I'm going to upload, of course, today's video for Vita, as well as my friends and colleagues, Chago Rodriguez and Crazy Knight, will be uploading their own. They decided to hop on this challenge with me, so they can, aside from solidarity, they wanted to like try different things in their channels as well, which, fantastic. It's great to see Crazy Knight taking his channel and doing stuff in it again, and seeing Chago try different things on his channel as well, getting out of his comfort zone and doing different types of videos. It's just been great content all around. Check out Chago Rodriguez's YouTube channel at Chago the Approved Comics, and check out Crazy Knight's YouTube channel at Crazy Knight. This has been for the Video Hardcore Wrestling Association live from the Tito Puente Ballroom. This has been Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger, bidding you adieu.